We are here on YouTube on the Quilter on Fire YouTube channel. I'm Brandy and I have a guest here. Her name is Stacy from Stacy Lee Creative. Now, the reason I wanted to have you on the YouTube channel, kind of like short and sweet type of podcast, vlog, I don't really know what this is called, but we want to get the information out to the masses because you are doing something so wonderful. And it's not just the first year you've done this. You've been doing this for a while. So I want to get the word out. So can you tell us what's the name of your event? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Brandy, for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm organizing a quilt donation drive. This will be our fourth annual quilt donation drive. And what we're doing is we're donating quilts to comfort cases for children in foster care.
Yeah, and so tell us about the children. How do they receive the quilt and how are they affected by this program?
Okay, so what happens is we send them to Comfort Cases, who's a nationwide charity. They serve all 50 states and they make up a case. And in the case is basic essentials like a toothbrush, toothpaste, a brand new pair of pajamas, socks, an activity. I'm going to forget a few things. Basic essentials, and just so that it's meant to be a comfort case, something that's going to help them go into a new home, and of course a blanket or a quilt. So I'm trying to encourage people to donate a quilt that can be included in these cases. And if you watch the video of Rob Shear, he talks about his son. It was his idea to put a blanket in the cases because he says it wraps these children in love. So, and I think a quilt really does that. It really wraps a kid with love.
Yeah, it's like a quilted hug, right? So can you tell
Mhm.
us a little more about the organization and maybe the person you're dealing with, the founder?
Okay, so Rob Shear is the founder of Comfort Cases, and he's absolutely amazing. He was actually a child in foster care himself, and then years later, he decided to look after children in foster care, and he was gobsmacked to realize that when these children would come to him, they were still getting a black rubbish bag with their items in them, which is what he got, and he said it made him feel worthless and that he just had no dignity, and he decided to try and put a stop to it. And let's of something that's quite sad is these are kids that are lucky enough to have something that goes in the bag. Some kids actually own nothing that go into foster care, so he's just trying to change that, and like I said, give them a comfort case, something that's going to just make them feel loved and give them dignity.
Yeah. And why did you start getting involved with this? What tugged at your heartstrings?
Well, I always wanted to do some sort of charity work, and I thought, oh, I'll do lots of different things. Like throughout the year, we'll do children in foster care. Maybe we'll do something for cancer, and there's lots of things you can do. And then I realized it's actually better just to stay focused and just have one mission, so the message is clear and there's no dilution of what I'm trying to do here. We just once a year make quilts to send to comfort cases.
Yeah. So it's every year in April. And so can you tell us a little bit about the timeline of how it works?
Okay, so we make them in April, or you might even have quilts that are all ready to go and you can just send them in. But we make them in April in time to send in May because May is National Foster Care Awareness Month. So we're really trying to make an impact. Like, we care about you. We know this month is all about you and raising awareness. And here's quilts from our community.
Oh, how sweet. So always leading up to Foster Care Awareness Month. And
Mhm.
so this is not the first time you've done this. It's been a few years. So how did it go last year and the year before? When did you start and how has it changed over time?
Okay, so I started my YouTube channel 3 years ago, and then I started my channel in January, and then I did this on the 1st April. So we started very small, and I remember emailing people saying, would you help us? I've got like 1,000 YouTube subscribers. And I did get a few people reply back, and I've been really touched by those people, and I'm still staying in touch with those brands that did support me right at the beginning. And I think we actually did very well. We got about 100 quilts, and then it's sort of grown. And then last year we had around 500.
Wow.
And this year I'm saying we're going to double it, but I'm hoping we're going to absolutely smash it.
Oh, that's so great. What a good goal. That's really important. So,
Mhm.
it's really important that we share with everyone how they can get involved if they're interested in participating in this type of thing.
Okay, well, all the information is on my website, and you'll find a little tab right at the top called donation quilts. And also the main image on my website, you click on that and it'll take you to all the information. You can find out what shops are participating. You can find out, I have lots of free patterns with ideas of really simple, quick quilts to make. And I also have information on the giveaways because we haven't covered that yet, but there's a lot of giveaways. I have over $4,500 in prizes to give away to my generous people that join me.
Yeah, that is so great. And so it's not only the participation that's increased, like the number of quilts, but also the quilt shops involved. So let's talk a little bit about the quilt shops.
Okay, so what I did was I went onto a website and I copied as many emails as I could for quilt shops and I just cold emailed them and 27 responded back. I had 3 last year, shops I knew, and this year we've got 27 shops on board. So I'm so excited, and you can find that list over on my website. And if your local shop isn't participating, you could always ask them if they received my email and if they'd like to still join in. That would be wonderful.
Oh, that is so great. And one really important question that pops to mind is, where do these quilts go? Do they kind of stay in the communities where they're made, or do they get spread out all over the world?
Okay, so what happens is you send your quilts into comfort cases, they get added to a case. And if it's important for you that your quilt goes back to your community, you can actually request that. So you can ask for your town or state. So the form that you're going to send in when you donate the quilts, you can actually write on there that you'd like them to go back to your community, and comfort cases will honor that. And I just find that another wonderful thing about comfort cases, and they do serve all 50 states, so you don't have to worry about that. They can get right back to your community.
Yeah, and I guess one more thing we should say, if you really want to check out this organization, you can go to their website as well, right?
Correct. And I've got all the links on my website.
Okay, so if people want to participate, they can simply make a quilt. They can get on your newsletter to make sure that they get those emails and they know when to do what. And your goal is to double the quilts each year, or even just obliterate that goal, right?
Mhm.
So I'm so happy to be able to share this with everyone because it's such a wonderful charity. It's going for a really, really good cause. And I want to finish this conversation with a little bit of a kind moment about you, because this is such a wonderful thing that you are doing. So I just want to say out loud that you're getting a lot of traction on this. It's growing every year. You have wonderful participation and you are really making a difference. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's so close to my heart. I think children in foster care are the most vulnerable in our community. So I really think they deserve a little helping hand and a bit of love from us.
Yeah, it's so nice to make a difference in someone's life, especially if they're a young child. So
Mhm.
let's just review one more time. What is the website and where they can sign up for your newsletter, and where can we find you on the socials?
Okay, so my website is www.stacey-lee.com, and you can find me on all the socials under Stacey Lee Creative. And just if I could just mention one really important thing is if you want to enter the giveaway, you need to take a photo of the quilts that you're donating and print out my PDF form, which then you'll send with your quilts to comfort cases. And that's how we're going to track how many quilts we as a collective get sent to comfort cases.
Yeah. And if you want to take a look at how this went over the last couple of years, head on over to the YouTube channel because Stacey Lee has all kinds of stuff on there. So it's Stacey Lee Creative on YouTube, right?
Mhm, correct.
Okay, and wonderful. So you can find her on the socials. You can get on that newsletter. And again, don't forget, there's $4,500 worth of prizes to be had. It's such a fun event, such great support from the community. I'm so glad to have you on the YouTube type podcast. What should I call this? I don't even know what I'm going to call this yet, but I'm so glad to be able to feature. Yeah, the Tubecast. Yeah, I'm so glad to be able to feature you to the world. So thank you so much for hopping on with me today, Stacey.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support.
My pleasure.